this time with your nutrition. A lot of people wake up in the morning. Charlie, sometimes I was in my house, I wake up, then you hear boom, boom, boom. 4 a.m. and Charlie, the fufu is already getting ready. Exactly. People don't know what to eat at what time and how to eat. All of these conversations are very important in making sure that you are really healthy or you have a holistic healthy being, right? So we'll be delving straight into our next segment where we'll be discussing issues about nutrients and how to make sure that you are eating the right things, when to eat them, and how to eat them. My guest joining me in studio, Efua Densuya Insia Nomanyo, who is a registered dietitian and also leads the Densuya Diet Consult and Medical Catering. Welcome to Sunday Breakfast.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I was saying that I like your look, right? It matches with our set, everything, and it's glowing. It's glowing.
Thank you.
Interesting.
I love her voice. It's so rich.
It's so rich.
It's very rich.
Prime
I can
for
hear
news,
her on news.
On Sienna.
Hello and welcome to the city.
I can imagine. Right before us,
you.
a lot of interesting stuff going on.
I like what you brought to our set.
The regular.
The regular. Some people like fufu for breakfast. But tell us, what is a balanced diet or meal?
So a balanced diet is a meal that has the various nutrients in the right quantity and right portion. So when we say a meal is balanced, we want to say the various nutrients. You know, nutrients are the substances that the body needs for growth, for maintenance, and also for prevention of diseases. And these nutrients are mostly supplied through food. The body is able to make its own. Those the body is not able to produce, the body acquires it through the food, so they are called essential nutrients. Okay. So for a meal to be balanced, the body has to get the various nutrients, all the nutrients in one meal. That is when it is called a balanced diet. So when a meal is lacking an ingredient or two, then the food is not balanced. We are just eating to
just fill the stomach.
Yes.
Because you feel like you're hungry.
Yes.
Wow. We'll delve into all we need to know and the making sure that the balance or the food is balanced. But just talk to us about, like I was saying in my introduction, you wake up early in the morning and the first thing you hear is somebody just pounding the fufu like that. And aside the inconvenience that it's making, right, you are wondering if it's the best thing to do early in the morning like that. What is that expert advice for those who feel that, like, maybe I do heavy work for each reason, I need to eat heavy early in the morning?
Okay, so heavy breakfast can be appropriate. It goes back to the combination. Okay, so you have somebody who is very active and would want to take the gan kinke with fish early morning. It's okay.
It's fine.
It's okay.
Wow.
It's the combination. It's the quantity. It's the quantity of either the kinke or the fufu
So it can't
that
be
makes
3
it.
bowls of kinky, 1 fish.
No.
But it can be 3 balls of chicken and 3 fish.
You
know, let me get it correctly.
The quantities of thing depends on the your sex. If you are born male or female, the type of work you do, your age. And so for us to quantify a meal, a lot of things, even your disease condition, okay, your health status, also contribute to the kind of meal you have to take. So planning a meal, these are the basic factors you have to put in. You can't just get up and eat anything. What you might take might not be good for me. What you might take that is good for me, you might eat more, of course, because you are male. You might eat more and I might have to vary mine to suit my health condition.
I can't believe the amount of PR you've done this morning for Fufu Nation, right? Because
People are going to justify.
Yeah, I mean, you've in a couple of minutes just given all our Fufu lovers so much ammunition to continue. You love your Fufu yourself.
myself.
I can
wow.
imagine. Then it stands to reason why you are coming from this angle. Interesting.
So you mentioned that, nutrients. I know there are carbs, there's fats and oils, there's protein. How do we, plan a meal? How do we balance it all? Make sure that everything kakra
Yes.
in the right proportion.
You are right, kakra. So the main fuel for the body comes from the carbohydrates.
Right.
Okay. So normally when we are planning our meal, like we always say, you see, he said fufu. Fufu is the starchy carbohydrates.
Yeah.
So I'm getting most of the energy from the fufu. He will say, I'm going to buy wache or kenke. So we always, as Ghanaians, we always mention the carbohydrate first. Of course, that is what we buy more. Somebody can even buy rice and say, I don't have money for the meat or the egg. So that's okay for him, that's okay. So for a proper meal, a balanced meal, you should have your starchy carbohydrate, you should have some protein. Protein is needed for your for the cells development. It's needed for the buildup of your muscles as well. It's needed for hormones and enzymes in the body. Fat is also very essential. It will give you some extra calories added to the carbohydrates. And also some of the nutrients are even absorbed with the aid of fats. So in school we said fat-soluble vitamins, okay? And then you would also need minerals and vitamins. Most of the time we overlook. So we have a lot of nutrients, but they are grouped into macro and micro.
Okay.
The macro, you need them in large quantities. In fact, you can even see them. So that is the fats, the protein, and the carbohydrates. The micro, the body, just a little is okay for the body. So we say micro, but they are very essential. Okay. So for a balanced meal, we have all these 5 and water as well. But for me, when I'm planning my meal, I will bring out the fiber. So when you are naming them, it becomes 7. It's no longer the 6.
No longer
because
6.
the fiber has to be planned for. Because fiber is very essential for disease prevention and also for the
Release of our
optimum
bowels.
function of your GIT.
All right. I see you've brought some bread, and is that chia seeds?
So-
And tell us about that and show
Okay.
us how we can get a balanced meal from that.
Okay, so going back again, planning a meal,
Right.
I need to have protein. Okay, sources of protein. We will have the
Meat.
we will have
Beans.
the beans, we will have
Eggs.
the chicken, we will have the eggs, we will have, you have traces of them in our grains and cereals as well. So you need to have your protein, your source of protein, and you need to have your carbohydrates. Fiber is part of carbohydrates.
Okay.
That is why most of the time carbohydrates absorbs it. Vegetables are carbohydrates, fruits are carbohydrates.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you need to have that as well. In fact, you need to have a lot of that. But modified carbohydrate is the one that has less starchy carbohydrates and more of the non-starch carbohydrates. So the vegetables are the non-starch carbohydrates. I hope I'm not confusing
Not
you.
at all.
Okay. Then we will have our fats and oils. So these are seeds and nuts. These will come under fat and oil. But there are some protein in there as well. Okay. Then the minerals are traces in the carbohydrate, the fats and oils, the protein. So for them, like I said, you don't see them. Today, to illustrate, this is a breakfast show, so I wanted to start with breakfast.
That's absolutely fine.
Good.
I like the
So-
smile on Jude's face.
Yeah,
You've seen food.
I wish it was gobe, right? But that's okay. This also works.
Next time, I'll bring you gobe.
Okay.
So this is Hausa cocoa, one of our favorites as
yeah.
Ghanaians. So the Hausa cocoa is millets, seed, with all the most of the fiber removed. Hausa cocoa is most enjoyed with bread. I didn't get the kose.
That's completely fine.
Because somebody might want to take it, I need to protect the person, so I'm wearing gloves. So this is what you mostly want to buy. When they buy the kose, thank you very much. When you buy the kose, you might even want to divide the bread and put it inside.
Why do they do that? I see a lot of people do that.
Yeah, for taste.
For taste.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
At times they even fry the bread. So
Yes.
they dip it into the kose butter.
And they fry
And
it.
they fry it.
Yes.
Hey, Charlie.
Yes. So for taste, I want to go back to taste. When we are planning our meal, taste should be secondary for health. Because
Now you sound like my sister-in-law.
nutrients are to support our health.
Right.
The reason why we need to plan our meal, I want everybody to understand that it is for growth and optimal function of the body, because the body rides on nutrients. Nutrition, as we say, is health. So good nutrition, good health. Poor nutrition will definitely affect your health. Okay. So taste is always secondary. Of course, you can have tasty meals that are very healthy, or you can find a way to make your healthy meal very, very tasty so that you can enjoy both.
Absolutely.
So our Hausa cocoa has been deprived of the fiber. Millet itself doesn't have that much fiber as compared to maize. So I will go for my mori cocoa, as we call it, that has a lot of fiber. The little fiber we have in millets, during the process for taste, we throw away the fiber because we sieve it with a very fine cloth, making sure that there is nothing left. This is simple carbohydrates combined with another simple carbohydrate, making it very unhealthy. But go to Hausa cocoa joints in the morning, you see the queues.
I can't believe.
It's not very unhealthy. I'm like, what?
I mean, I can't believe in the few minutes you've been on the show, you've justified how it's okay to have fufu at whatever time or whatever quantity, depending on, of course, the categories you give. But our bread and our Hausa cocoa is the problem.
Okay, let me go to your fufu. So I might take fufu this morning, the portion of my fufu, because the fufu is very dense in energy. I might have to go for my fix or even half. I take 2/3 of my fix.
Oh,
But that is fufu.
What were you expecting?
That is why I said quantity, right? That is fufu. I will eat the fufu with either fish or chicken, rarely meat, because of, normally when we say meat, we are talking about red meats in our local environments. When we say meat, we are either talking goat meat or beef. So I will eat my fufu with protein. I will cut vegetables. We will put in either gardeners or okra. That's my favorite. Either aubergine, garden inshopo, garden eggs, and some okra inside. That's my source of vegetables. And I have some minor in the soup, because the soup, during the process, we have blended the onions and the tomatoes have been on fire for a while. We have to fortify it more when we are eating it with more cut vegetables. So you have it in there. Is that not more balanced than this one.
But we have here Hausa cocoa, right?
Let me put a pause and let's remember that our show is live and interactive, so don't forget to
Very
send your
well.
comments 020-447-033. Again, 020-447-033. Let me say that again, 0204-447-033. And on all our social media handles, when you send the message, don't forget to hashtag Sunday Breakfast.
Exactly.
Jude.
Like you are
Jude
doing
is
right
shocked with
here.
his fufu.
Yeah, I mean,
So when did someone mention fufu, I thought the portion size, you expected the normal portion size.
I mean,
and now you've been shocked. Half of your fist.
Half or a quarter.
No, depending on your level of activity and the type of work
that
you do. Okay, in fact, the type of work you do mostly influence the level of activity. I am a clinician. My level of activity, most often running ward rounds and stuff, make us very active. But when I also sit down to consult, sometimes the whole day you will be...
You're just sitting.
Yes. So my level of activity will not encourage me to eat more.
Okay.
Of course, the fufu itself is very dense.
Yeah, I mean, the starch and the
Yes.
cassava and the...
So when you are eating fufu, you have to make sure you have more of the vegetables in there to fill you up.
Okay.
So regular fufu has no, even if they will give you vegetable, they will give you one cut okra and one garden eggs cut into two. That's the regular, but that is unhealthy. Okay, so fufu has a healthy way of eating. You should have about 3 of the garden eggs cut into two, so you have 6. And you should have at least, for general eating, you should have about 3 of the okra as well. If you like aubergine, which is very nice in triple, you add it too. You see that the vegetables, by the time you finish eating the vegetables,
you are
you are full. You don't need so much fufu.
Okay.
But this one, our cocoa is simple sugar. Our cocoa and bread, our Milo, our Milo and bread in the morning. This one is 3-in-1, has some amount of milk, sugar as well, and the cocoa. The cocoa itself is very good. The sugar, some amounts, and then the milk there. If I should, I don't have the permission of other factors. If I should read the label behind, you'll see that you have just a little amount of protein.
Okay.
The amount of protein you need in a meal should be between 15 to 25%. You are lacking it here. You are lacking it in the Milo and your bread. Even if you say you have added 3 tablespoons of milk, that is not considered as protein. Most of us will say adding egg to it makes it expensive. But if you think about health, you will know that you need protein in there. So you will add the egg to it. You might spread your bread, if you want to still go for bread, with granite paste. That will give you some amount of fat and protein. Okay. But if you want to stick to the regular way of eating at home, where you've done your cup of Milo and you are going for bread, and worst of all, spread it with you are just giving energy. Okay.
I mean, we definitely need to have you again, so we look at other, food and the timing. But I mean, I one time chanced on one of our camera technicians eating breakfast, and he had gobe. I mean, for gobe and the gari in the gobe, and aside the quantity of the beans and the gari.
There was rice on the side.
There was rice on the side.
I was with you.
And then plantain.
And there was egg.
And plantain.
And plantain. And the egg, you know what they open the egg and they put pepper inside. and I'm like, why? Is it a fight?
Okay, so with the gobe and the egg. So if we are saying gobe, we are saying the beans, the gari, the cocoa, and some will add the rice. Okay, beans has more carbohydrates than protein, so we are adding more carbohydrates with to what we have already in the form of either rice or cocoa. Okay. And then what again? Yes, mostly
egg.
The egg is okay because the protein in the beans is not enough for a meal.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I might need the protein I need in a meal is about 28 grams. That is for me, my personality. Somebody might need more or less, but even if it is less, you use your weights to mostly determine your protein level. So for the beans alone, we don't consider it as balanced because even the protein inside is not that complete. Okay,
So as
adding
it
the
stands now,
egg
our
is
cocoa is not balanced.
cocoa is definitely cocoa is giving you only carbohydrate.
Okay.
There's no fat in there. There's no fiber in the bread nor the cocoa.
Okay, so we have to add the
So the chia seed,
right.
Ghanaians are not used to chia seed.
No, they aren't.
So normally we add the granules. Granules we will go for very small, but the adequate granite is a handful.
A handful.
When it covers your mine will take a 2.5 tablespoons. That will give me some protein
To add
and
to
a
it.
little fiber.
Okay.
But if I want more fiber, then I have to eat my cocoa with vegetables.
Vegetables. How do you incorporate vegetables and cocoa? Like, explain, make that make sense.
So it might not make so much sense. Taste is always acquired.
Yeah.
And meals are planned.
I feel.
Right.
When I was coming, I decided to wear yellow because of where I'm going after here.
Okay.
We are in a yellow period, okay? So I decided to deliberately wear this. When you're also eating, you have to be deliberate about the nutrients you need, how you want your body to function. If you want your body to function at its optimal level, if you want to be healthy, if you want to stay for long in nutrition, we will say eat for the next decade. You will want to plan a balanced meal, making sure you have adequate fiber, especially if you want to go for Hausa cocoa, which most of us love. I love Hausa cocoa too. If I'm going for it, I'll make sure I have my chia seed. Chia seed will give me the fiber, more fiber than it is in the
Hausa
cocoa, and will give me some amount of protein, and I'll add an egg. That is not a regular combination, but that is a planned meal.
Interesting. Quite a number of messages
messages.
coming
So
in.
many messages.
Festus Nee says, I'm enjoying the show in Dansoma, very educative. Thank you, Dansua, for this great show. He also asks, is eating only plant-based protein enough for the body?
Okay, so going for plant-based as a vegetarian, you have to be deliberate about your sources of protein. You have to make sure you are getting enough. So we do calculations to make sure this combination is giving me a good amount of protein.
Okay.
And for the others you might not have, you need to use a supplement, like a B12.
Wow. I mean, any other messages?
Yes, I mean, we're running out of time, but this one's from...
There's also Gratis from Tema
Thank you
Community
for
25.
the program. I'm learning a lot and will add knowledge to my lifestyle. That's from a viewer from Sierra Leone. A question from Joel, I think you've already answered this, says, I've often heard people say that beans are more carbohydrate heavy than protein rich. Can you please clarify this for her?
Yes, so beans have more carbohydrates than protein. So the protein in the beans is a support protein. So when you're preparing your bean stew, you still have to add some tuna to it to make it. And when you are eating the beans, you need to add a grain to make the beans, to make the protein you are getting from the beans complete. That is what makes wache awesome, because you have rice and beans together.
Yeah.
But mostly the beans are not enough. So you
But
might
talking
not
about
have
wache,
a
is
lot
it ideal for the morning though?
Yes, it is ideal. Like I said, it all depends on the quantities, okay? So if you want to go for what, I am not good with lactose, so I don't go for light breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will mostly take even my ampesi in the morning. How you do it is
Entirely
for
up
another
to you.
discussion.
Oh
Wow.
my goodness.
We
will definitely have to bring
come
you
here.
back.
I mean, clearly, because to be fair, quite a number of messages
Are coming in
are
and
still coming in.
we
People
won't be
want to
able to
know.
read
And
them.
people are not too sure about some of the fufu and the banku aspect of the conversation. But yes, that was a four day in Sia Nomanyo.
Registered
registered
dietitian.
dietitian.
And she has a DESUA diet
Diet
consult
consult and
and
medical
medical catering.
catering.
We
I mean,
are eternally grateful to you.
Exactly.
We've learned so much. The fufu is not the huge round.
That
The one that you're thinking, that's not
that one,
it.
we need to clarify again. So
The one that you're thinking, that's not
we need
it.
to clarify again. But I mean, exciting conversation and very insightful as well, because we are getting to learn a lot of things that we didn't know and in the past probably took for granted. So I mean, we definitely have to bring you on again, delve into other aspects. I mean, I hear people talk about brunch and lunch and some things, Charlie. I don't even know what they are up to
Right.
sometimes. So
We're
we
grateful.
have to do
Thank
that
you
again.
for coming.